Hey guys, BlackCross here, and welcome back to another unboxing video. And yes guys, we are going to be unboxing the Final Fantasy VII Bring Our Figures. This is going to be the coolest set I've ever collected since Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, as we're getting into the unboxing, let me just go ahead and just say something right now. I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews about this set, and here's what I'm going to say right now for those that are going to be curious as to is this set going to be worth getting? Well, let me start by basically saying this much. Which version of Final Fantasy VII do you like the best? If you like the original set, then this would be the set to go for, especially since now they confirmed all the party members and Sephiroth as actual figures that are going to be made and purchasable later on, within the next couple of years. If you're a fan of the remake style, on the other hand, though, then this would obviously not be the choice for you. Depending on your overall preferences and opinions, this is completely a stylized set, and it's completely opinionated based on the generation themselves. I know there are some people that did not like how the figures were made or anything like that, but if you're like me and you collected the Bring Our Figures, you know there's going to be some form of limitation that's going to come out of it. I guess what it is that because of how expensive the Bring Our Figures are now, compared to whenever the Kingdom Hearts series was being released and stuff like that, they were originally released under price. They were originally under the price of $100 each, almost, with the exception of one or two figures, technically. However, though, now they have decided to upgrade the price to basically being $130. And depending on if you get the first 3 digital bundle pack, I don't know why they did that. That's such a terrible move in my personal opinion. But anyway, the $160 price range, which is, again, completely stupid. But the thing is that this is actually technically a set that I've wanted for a long time. Ever since I got into Final Fantasy VII years ago. I wanted to have a Final Fantasy VII figure set that closely resembles that of the original PlayStation 1 style. And I love the art style, I love how they look and stuff. And to know that they're actually going to be making the full party cast, that gets me excited, that really does. This is actually technically the first time in our history that we've actually had a full-on character set that is coming from the same, what's the word I'm looking for? From the same category per se, you know what I mean? The same scale. In the past, we've had almost all of them, but not fully per se. I'd say the closest we've ever gotten to was whenever they released the figures for the Advent Children series. But it didn't take them until literally a couple years before they finally got the last set of characters made and stuff. And so now here we are, we have the PlayStation 1 art style look. And personally, I'm happy. I'm excited to unbox these guys. Alright, so we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to try using my phone this time around and see how it all kind of looks, in terms of how the quality looks and everything. So hopefully this turns out well. Alright, we'll first start off with the Cloud figure. Ordinarily I wouldn't use an X-Acto knife, but I don't know where my other knife went. Just gonna have to be extremely careful with it. Still just as sharp. Got some instructions attached to the top of it. Okay, so here's the instructions. Obviously, this kind of shows, how to put it together and stuff like that. If you're like me and you're familiar with how Bring Our Figures are and stuff like that, this isn't too much of a surprise as to how it works and stuff like that. But much like the Kingdom Hearts Bring Our Figures, we got the front plate of it, the main one that holds the figure, and then the thing that holds the display. If you're also familiar with the Kingdom Hearts unboxing that I did, you'll know that this wasn't always a thing. If nothing else, they just had it kinda almost fastened to the back of it, but now they realized, oh, people actually collect these things and like to hang on to the boxes. Alright, well, let's put the stand in something that makes it a little bit easier to, you know, try to preserve and stuff. So they put it in casing like this, which I prefer. Makes it easier to get it out of and stuff like that. Although differently to Kingdom Hearts' stand, it's not like a circle pad or anything like that. It's just a small little stand. You can pose it however way you want to and stuff. Obviously, we're just going to have Cloud be posed in like the standard look. So there we go. May require a little bit of tweaking later on, but we'll see how it goes once we get the Cloud figure out. Much like the other figures in the past, we've had a set of hands. One for holding the Buster Sword and one for open. And then of course we have the Cloud figure himself. Now, admittedly, there was some plastic wrapped around Cloud. There was one on his shoulder pad. That wasn't too bad. But the one that was wrapped around his waist was a little bit complicated because obviously I had to figure out how I was going to do that. And so whenever I went to pull, the lace just kind of popped off. Wasn't too bad though, because I'm actually familiar with the connections and stuff. In my personal opinion, in my personal experience, I find that the Mickey Mouse Bring Our figure was actually the hardest one to get together and stuff like that because they didn't have the tail in Mickey. So I had to figure out how to do that. That was the most complicated one. Cloud wasn't too awful hard, actually, in all honesty. Kind of used to it, so. Now, of course, weirdly enough, Cloud has this little thing that, if you wanted to, you can take it out, put this little stud there, and that's where the Buster Sword would kind of hinge on. You know, just kind of be put to the back. But that's not what we're going to be doing in Cloud. We're going to be posing him just like he is in the box. And of course, to do that, we have to remove this hand and go for the enclosed one, which would be this right here. There we go, just like that. Now, this should be fairly somewhat simple. Just got to slide it in there. Look at that. Now, let's see. Not too awful bad, actually, in all honesty. Then, of course, we have this thing to kind of help hold in place and stuff. Not bad, actually. Works out quite nicely. Before we move on to the Tifa, I think it would be fair if I just showed you a comparison between the Bring Our figures for, like, say, let's just go ahead and pull Sora out, and so that way we can show you the comparison between this Bring Arc and the Sora one. Alright, so here's Sora Bring Arcs. Now keep in mind too, this is version 2 of Sora, not version 1, version 2 of Kingdom Hearts 3 Bring Our Sora. But you can kind of see, even with the stand, Sora has a little bit of a height advantage over Cloud. Which is kind of weird, because when you think about it, in Kingdom Hearts 3, not much time has actually passed between 2 and 3. When you think about it, not much time at all. So Sora is relatively in height disadvantage, So if Cloud was in 3, he would still be slightly taller than Sora. But this is a different line, so obviously it's going to be different height. But this is what the height comparison for, like, say, Cloud is. However, though, let's do something interesting. Let's pull out some of the other Cloud figures that has come out in the past. For example, we have 2 other figures. The very long, very old play arts figure of Cloud from Advent Children. This is the original play arts from years ago. So as you can see, he towers over the Bring Arcs. And then this, that one is the play arts Kai that was released a couple of years ago. As you can see, he practically towers over Cloud. Like, practically 2 times the height. Ridiculous, but kind of makes sense. But when you think about it in price range, I can definitely see why people might have a complaint on the price point. Because this one, if I remember correctly, whenever I had gotten him, which technically it was like a sweepstakes type thing, which allowed me to get it for free. So that was years ago. But his normal price, if I'm not mistaken, was like $180. I would have to look that up just to kind of proof point it. I have no idea what price the Advent Children was. But like I said, this was years ago. So I don't know. But 180 versus 130. So when you think about it, yeah, I get where people are coming from. But this is a Pacific stylized figure. So naturally it's going to be slightly different than some of the other common ones that we're going to get today. And who's to say when we're going to get another set like this? Probably not, like, forever at all. But now we're going to move on to the Tifa one. And I'd say it's probably going to be somewhat similar to Cloud in terms of packaging. If not just a little bit harder for some reason. There we go. Much better. We also have some instructions here, except unlike Cloud, Tifa has some alterations as well, which is her hair. Definitely interesting. Did not know they were going to do something like that. It's not bad, but just kind of weird, I guess. But yeah, here's Tifa right here. Much like how Cloud is. Although, you have a different face look. You have a more serious looking Tifa. First is her smiling. I think that's what it was. It wasn't the hairstyle, it was the facial look. Which I prefer her smiling. I don't know, there might be some that prefer this style. If you're one of those people, that's perfectly fine. Now, she has herself different range of hands. 3, though, compared to the 4 that Cloud has. And really, she's not really going to be holding anything, so naturally, she's just going to be slightly different. It's just going to be her posing with her fists and stuff. But we also have the stand as well. Alright, so stand works the same way that Cloud does. You have to bring it down a lot more. But that's okay. So, got that fixed up. Now then, to get her fixed up. Obviously, that's how the plastic will come off of that easy. Not too hard, but the waist is where it's going to be problematic. So, Now I could just pull the plastic off. Okay, there we go. So I got the plastic off of her. Although, weirdly enough, just like how Cloud with his plastic wrapping around his crotchal area, so is Tifa's. I'm not sure why. But, yeah. Also, I know some people will be like, well, why won't you show it? It's like, for obvious reasons. YouTube regulations. I mean, it's not a completely family-friendly channel, but you get the ideal, you know. Best not to test the limits of YouTube, patience and stuff. But, even just doing something like this is something that Tifa would actually pose as. But we want to go for the box look. So, alright, so let's see. So why her hand would be like that, I don't know, but... Oh, not bad actually, in all honesty. Works well. Alright, now then, to get her fixed up, have to raise the thing a little bit better, but that's okay. There we go. She's all posed and ready for combat. Okay, there we go. We have Cloud and Tifa from the Bring Arc sets. Now on the boxes, they're specifically numbered. Cloud being 1, obviously, and Tifa being 2. I imagine as the rest of the figures get released, they'll all be numbered as well. For example, Aerith would probably be the 3rd one. Can't remember, but I think Barrett will probably be either 4, or if not, Sephiroth will be 4. I'd have to look on the release dates. But I'm specifically wanting the party set. I don't care much for getting Sephiroth, but I got Cloud and Tifa, so now I just have 7 more figures to go. My bad. I lost count for some reason. Yeah, 7 more figures to go. But yeah, so there is Cloud and Tifa. That was the unboxing. Let me know in the comments below, do you like this style of unboxing with my phone? I'll try to get it to where it looks a little bit sharper sometime later on. Personally, I kind of like the camera angle. This allows me a little bit of freedom. I had to kind of rig it a little bit, but a little bit of freedom to where I can kind of record and unbox like this. And plus, you get a better view of the figures themselves. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.